Hey, you. You're finally awake.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Yeah, it's another video. He's a madman. Well, in reality, I think I've got a better setup at things, so if I can keep making videos, I'm gonna keep making videos. So, previously we did the NES, and that was at 1990. Well, let's switch gears and go to the Mega Drive, or Sega Genesis, and look at 1991. I have always been a Mega Drive kid. I've been honest about that. That's my first ever console, was the Mega Drive 2, and my dad got me and my brother for Christmas, and we've been hooked on gaming ever since. So I'm going to be looking at what games came out in 1990 and give my thoughts on the top 10. As always, my views are completely blinded by nostalgia. I'm not going to say this is a definitive list, although I might have said that on the thumbnail, whatever. If you agree with my list, please let me know. If you disagree with my list, let me know as well, because that's what this is all about. And please, 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 if you think I deserve it, please hit that like button. It helps the channel grow as we're on our way to 10,000 subscribers. There's the podcast, which comes out on Thursday, and we've also got a $1 a month Patreon, and the link is in the description below. Right, let's get into it, shall we? The 10 best games on the Sega Mega Drive from 1991. At number 10, Alien Storm. Okay, some of you are going to be going, yeah, that shouldn't be in top 10. I know, but this is a nostalgic trip. Literally playing it again when I got it, I was like, ooh, I remember this growing up. Ooh, and it brought back all the memories I had of playing it with my brother. I don't know how we got hold of it. We didn't have it in our collection, so either a friend had it or we rented it. Either way, this game used to actually scare the crap out of me because I found the aliens quite scary. I was like, ah. And it's hard. Imagine Golden Axe, is the best way to say it. Golden Axe or Streets of Rage, but it's set in like modern day times with aliens, and your weapon is either a flamethrower, a lightning gun, or robot shoulder missiles, because you had 3 different characters you could pick from, the girl, the man, or the robot. And I just found this really fucking hard. It's really, originally this was an arcade title, so obviously that element is there of arcade hard, but this was hard. Like, it had also different stages where, in the sense of, like in Streets of Rage and in Golden Axe, you would just go from left to right. Here, there were stages where there were left to right, or you could go into a building and it went into a first-person perspective, where you had to try and destroy everything, and the aliens would be coming at you left, right, center, and some of them looked like Zoonoids from the Guyver. If you don't know what that is, watch that anime. Goddamn awesome. And it scared the absolute crap out of me. Trying to do it one play is god bloody impossible. So hard. But then also there were sections where you're running a million miles an hour, like how they've gained the ability to be able to run across the street, like from left to right. They are running at the speed of like Sonic the Hedgehog style, blasting anything in sight. How that happens, I don't know. Now, as I said at the time, I was so scared of this game. I'm not anymore. It's very silly, it's a bit over the top, but you're fighting like slug alien things that come out of trash cans, but leave me alone. The ones that slashed at you scared me. Little boy. It had great graphics, great sprites for its time, said it's early, but it feels arcadey. It does feel arcadey. It has that arcade difficulty. God knows what the actual arcade is like. I bet it's even hard as anything. But it's also a lot faster than Streets of Rage and Golden Axe. Like, if you're watching this on the screen, you can fly around like an absolute ninja in this, where in Golden Axe, you're like, oh my god, this is so slow. Even slower in Streets of Rage. But here, no, you're off. You are great. The whole atmosphere really screams aesthetic for the 90s. Probably more so than a Golden Axe would, but really sums up that classic horror, stupid, over-the-top comic vibe. Great. Loved it. Give it a go. At number 9, EA Hockey. So, EA Hockey, now, being an Englishman / Australian, hockey's not my thing. Okay, I don't mind watching the hockey if it's on like the Olympics or something like that, the Winter Olympics, but it's not one of my sports. You Canadians, you Americans, you Japanese, whatever, you can have all that, alright? It ain't my thing. However, when it came to EA Hockey, this was one of the first games I ever owned because I had it in a joint thing with Madden. Now, I don't like American football. That's shit. Sorry, Americans. It's crap. EA Hockey, though, oh my god, it was the first time I ever got introduced to EA Sports. It's in the game. I think, was it in that? I can't remember if it was in that, but I'm sure that was it. If someone's going to know, it wasn't that game. It definitely didn't have it. I can't remember. But I used to play EA Hockey religiously. I used to pick United Kingdom and we'd kick ass. And this was the times before, like, you know, the Soviet Union broke up. So, like, early Street Fighter, when Zangief's from Soviet Union. Yeah, the Soviet Union, Yugoslavia, they're all in there, which is hilarious. But the game plays really well. Like, it played fantastically on my Mega Drive controller. It made me feel like I was playing hockey. The Animations for the skaters were fine. I don't know if there was any difference between the different teams. People again can comment and say that case. But having shots felt great. I used to find the way I'd score was try and go around the back and then go around the back of the goal and then kind of hook it in. That was how I could do it. But the best thing I used to love about this was the fights. You could basically get people just to suddenly whip off the shirt and just start beating the shit out of your opponent. It's like, yeah, because you can't do that in England. Do that in any sport in England, you get sent off. Or maybe in rugby you can get away with it depending on what you do. But in football you do that, now you're down. But in getting to beat the crap out of people, I was like, yeah, and I'd always get upset if we lost. My man get banned for fighting, but I don't know, it was great. Why do people, they allow them to fight? Someone's going to have to tell me that in the comments, and I can't be asked Googling. Is it to do with the fact they've got skates on and they don't want to get involved and someone gets their throat slashed like many years ago? I don't know. Someone can say whether that's a good thing. I know there's a multiplayer mode as well. You can play 2-player, but my brother really wasn't interested. For me, this was just me and him playing solo, and Madden just never got touched. Even when I did try Madden, what the fuck was going on? It's fucking Madden. It's American football. It's stupid. And number 8, Donald Duck's Quackshot. So this is basically Indiana Jones, the Donald Duck edition, and I love it. Like, the whole game is this big adventure movie, essentially, where he's world hopping, treasure hunting, he had ancient ruins and puzzles and secrets. It was great. And these are the times when Disney games were so goddamn fucking good. Like, they really put the effort into how to make a good game. Like, the way that even Donald walked and run, it was awesome. And the fact he was going around shooting people with plungers, that's superb. Like, screw having a gun. He shot people with a goddamn plunger. It was amazing. And then you can get plunger upgrades that made you climb walls. And this meant you could have like a Metroidvania style. Oh my god. It's so good. Like, bouncing on enemies, shooting them with plungers. Like, him getting pissed off. It's great. It's challenging as well. It also has that Disney difficult. I wouldn't say it's Lion King or Aladdin level, but it still does have that. And again, it's designed for kids and adults because, you know, kids can rent the thing, adults can buy it. But it just has that, why not have some fun with it? Why not have fun with a video game? And they obviously looked at it and went, yeah, we're going to make a really fun game here. Like, this is in the same vein of Castle of Illusion. Great other game that Mickey Mouse was in. And I really think that the Disney games back in those days, the early days, had the right heart. Now I just think they're fucking shite. In at number 7, Shadow Dancer, The Secret of Shinobi. Now, I've only played this recently. I got asked to play it for my podcast, and I was going to have my friend from the Retro Hangover podcast, Chris Copley, he was going to come do it with me. I mean, the game, not anything else. And I never realised this was a prequel to The Revenge of Shinobi, which I played as a kid growing up, and I love Revenge of Shinobi. So Shadow Dancer was the first one, which is also a sequel to the Master System version, which I've also played. So I've played all the Shinobi games to date, I think, although I've not played the new one, so I'm lying already. I'm stupid. But in this game, regardless, you get a dog. Yeah, your dog Yamato, who basically changes things dramatically because you can send him to either distract or pin your enemies. And that gives you the ability to get attacking, which you might not have the chance. Thanks, doggy. The annoying thing of the dog, though, I will say it now, he barks constantly. I'm like, shut the fuck up. I love dogs. It's like Pat, right? He's not with me at the moment. He's gone to bed with mummy. But he barks like anything. If he sees anything, he's just like, do you want to fight? Do you want to fight? He will not stop barking. That is Yamato. Bark, 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 bark. Shut up. Shut up. The game still handles really well. Again, this is a very early Mega Drive game. Handles beautifully. No input lag, no floatiness, good control. Again, if I died, it was my fault. And it's a hard game. The Shinobi games are always quite difficult, like Shinobi 3, Shinobi 2, this one. Difficult, hard games. It has that, you know, tough but fair attitude, but once you start learning the enemy placements and how they're going to move, it becomes a lot easier to do. The game has a great look. Again, I've said this before, it's a 1991, early stages, beautiful. Looks really good on the console. The music looks great as well. It has that good feels of like an 80s, 90s game, like that look, but with polished up on the Mega Drive. Mwah. Soundtrack's good as well. Like, is it as good as number 2? No. Revenge of Shinobi. Oh, and the fact you fight Spider-Man. That's the problem, is you fight Spider-Man in number 2. Because how can you beat that when you fight Spider-Man and freaking Godzilla and Rambo? Yeah, check it out, you do, it's weird. But Shadow Dancer is one to go back to, and I really do think it's a forgotten gem. I think I didn't know about it, never heard of it before, and if that's the case, well, there we go, because number 2 and 3 you hear about and see them in collections all the time. Number 1 just doesn't get a fair shake. And number 6, ToeJam and Earl. What more can you say about ToeJam and Earl? It's probably one of the most weirdest and most unique games I've ever played in my life. And it's in the 1991 list, but it was so ahead of its time because it had that 90s funky beat, which was just awesome. The goofy art, the laid back attitude, like some of the stupid words, like, ToeJam, this 3-legged thing, would just burp out of nowhere. But it was also a roguelike. Like, I've never played a roguelike before. Again, on the Mega Drive, I can't think of many roguelikes that were even there. Like, I know roguelike now, I think like Hades or something like that. I wasn't thinking ToeJam and Earl, but yes, it was, because the whole idea is that you're trying to get a present. You're trying to get a present to get parts of your ship, which can then mean you can go get an elevator to go to the next part of the level. But the problem is you can get these presents and you don't know what the fuck's in them. Like, it could be a power-up, it could be something that's going to screw you over. You've got no idea. But the game is just fucking hilarious. Like, ToeJam and Earl's just weird as well. Like, there's a carrot guy who can give you clues. Santa's on a jetpack. There's hula girls. Like, what the fuck? Is this just weird? It's got co-op as well. You can either stay together or just split up, and it's split screens. It's just awesome. There's no violence as well. Basically, the whole point is you've got to use your tools you've been given, your surprises, or just run away, which is quite cool. It doesn't copy anything as well. This is a very, very unique game, and I can't think of many games. I know I'm kind of freeballing it in my head, but I can't think of many games like ToeJam and Earl. Like, it's part roguelike, it's part comedy, it's part eye-opening into the 90s, it's part adventure game, it's a bit of everything. If you want to know what the 90s was, this is it. Like, early 90s, I should say. This was the culture, this was the vibe, that everything was cool in the rap world. And despite all that, it was a bit difficult. Again, with it being a roguelike, you're trying to work out, okay, which way do we need to go? How do I kind of dodge the enemies that are around me? How do I dodge the terrain that's fucking cheese? Do I have actual ability to swim? Do I have my inner tube so I can go get a present? There's so many things you've got to consider, so whilst it might be easy to just pick up and start playing it, to actually finish it and master it properly, it takes a bit of practice. But either way, this is a quality game, and maybe it should be higher up on my list, I just need to give it more time. Now, at number 5, it's Ys 3, Wanderers of Ys. Now, a lot of people are going to be thinking, what the fuck is this game? Again, people who know their gaming will know this one. I, again, only started playing this because of the podcast, and oddly enough, it was Chris from the Retro Hangover podcast who asked me to play this. And I wasn't sure what to expect, and he said, just give it a go, see what you think, and I loved it. This has been on many different consoles, but the Mega Drive version I loved. I had so much fun with this because your character Adon is just basically walking around, hacking and slashing at everything to this amazing funky tune. Oh my god. The main song you just go fighting to, I would go and grind, and I would grind for hours on end because it was so much fucking fun. Sorry, I'm swearing, but it was so good. I just YouTube that and just see what it's like. I'd grind for hours, just running back and forth with my sword, holding the button and just letting Adon go to town to this absolutely amazing beat. Like, I felt I could take on Hitler with this. I felt like I could take on the freaking world. But you need to grind and grind hard enough because eventually you'll get some of the bosses, and the bosses are hard as balls. Despite this being a hack and slash, also RPG game, there was a story involved where Adon returned to a land, or Dogi returned, his friend returned to this land, and basically the whole place is going to shit. And everyone kind of puts all their problems on Adon, and he has to go to various locations to try and fix it. Now, I've played this on the Mega Drive. I've also played the Nintendo Switch version, which was a remastered version of the PSP. Alright? Or remake version of the PSP. And I played that, and I'll be doing that on the podcast as well. I enjoyed that as well. My god, it's such a good game. Again, the bosses in this game, challenging, but fair. It's that usual thing, it's a bit of a cop-out to say that, but once you figure out their attack patterns, it's not too bad, or you can just go for them and just attack them like anything. But the final boss is an absolute dick. I had this chat with Chris because he was talking about the Super Nintendo version, I think. I was talking about the Mega Drive version, and they are very different. All the ports are completely different to each other. And oh my god, the final boss is difficult. Whilst the rest of the game is quite a bit of a short breeze, you can finish it in a few hours, that final boss is extremely difficult. Like, extremely difficult. Like, sod that final boss. It's one of the hardest bosses I've ever fought in gaming, ever. And if I do the hardest bosses on the Mega Drive, this is going number 1. By a country freaking mile it does. Good, but hard as balls, and I didn't like it, and I just got angry and frustrated by it. But I was like, kind of, fuck you by the end of it. Motherfucker. Sorry. I just get a bit angry sometimes. At number 4, it's Phantasy Star III. Look, a lot of you are going to be saying, that shouldn't be on this list. Why should it be so high? That's fine, and I can understand that. But RPGs kind of are my thing, and once I get through some of the problems, and then with modern day features like speed up, it kind of removes that annoyance. I know there are some problems with the speed of the guy walks, and there are also the problems with some of the music choices, especially when you go into battle, and that fucking poison status. I know. However, once you kind of put your own music in, you know, you say, oh yeah, speed up, it's great, it's fine. I love the idea of the game story, in the sense of you as the main character can choose one of 2 women, and then that decides who your children are going to be, and then you can have a choice later on that decides who the grandchildren are going to be. Great! So each generation is their own. Dragon Quest V had a similar mechanic, although it was the same person going through the whole generation. This is different generations. Cool. But it also has that idea you want to replay it to actually see what it's going to be like, because it controls the story, it controls the final villain, it controls the ending. It does so much more, so there are probably different paths you want to follow and see what the game's like. I did think the game looked quite good, although it's not technically the same as 1 and 2. It's a bit of a spin-off game. I love the first game. I thought the first game was great. And why not like this one? Like, it still looks great. I love the world building. They keep thinking it's a medieval game, but you have to remember, no. This is sci-fi. It's all sci-fi, these things. But the whole thing is you go around with castles and swords and there's different kingdoms. But then there's big-ass colony ships. Now, when it comes to the music, apart from that one I went on about, the music's good. The music is nice. And I like it. I like the softer colours. I like the way the game looks. It's not as glaring in your face as other RPGs and other games. I like the character portraits when you go into the menu. I think it's great. I think it looks a great little RPG. It's not that difficult in comparison to other RPGs. So sometimes when you just want something you can just chill to, a nice game, you can just relax, put the fire on, have a cognac or a whiskey. I don't drink cognac, but a whiskey I do. And you can just go into this. Great. I'd say it's a good entry level. For those people who don't want to get annihilated, Phantasy Star 3 is where you should go to it, right? I think you're fine with it. Like, again, it's got problems. It really does have its problems, but I like it, and that's part of the charm. And number 3, Golden Axe 2. Now, I mentioned Golden Axe earlier. Well, this is the second one. And basically, it kind of just improved everything from the first one. Now, I love the first one. That was the first game I ever had, along with our eventual winner. I had that when we got our Sega Mega Drive 2. And this just improved it. Like, everything it had. The attacks felt sharper, the hit detection was better, the enemies just seemed to react better. My god, the enemies were actually thick in the first game. They would just sacrifice themselves and fall off a cliff. Stupid. But also, the magic is finely balanced here. You can actually choose the magic level you want to use, and what I mean by that, in the original game, you press your magic button, and see if you've got 5 magics, you use them all. Here you can go, no, I'm going to use 3, or I'm going to use 1. Oh, that little strategy changes the whole thing, because it was so annoying sometimes. You're like, oh, I can get more magics in a minute. Oh no, I've just used them all. Bloody stupid. The enemy designs were great, the sprites were great, although we had, my guy, Gilf, whatever his name is, Gulf, I can't remember how it's, Gulf Thunderhead, whatever his name is, and all he had was different was he's got bracelet things on, he's got strapping on now, and he's fine. But the game itself, as I said, apart from having better attacks and better hit detection, it just better pacing. Like, you can actually finish the original game in 10 minutes. I think the world record's like 8 minutes, which blew my mind when I found that out. You ain't doing that with the second one. It just works better. It really does. The soundtrack's good, amazing co-op, 3 great characters to play with, the beast you get to ride, and as I said, it's basically Conan the Adventurer, but better. Yeah. At number 2, and the runner-up, Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, some of you may have thought I would have had Sonic 1 as the original and best game of 1991, but no, it's not. Do I think it's the most influential game of all time? In my opinion, it is. bold decision, I think it is the most influential game of all time. And I'll go into this right now, because I believe if you don't have Sonic 1, then Nintendo dominates. And it absolutely destroys the market and nothing ever goes against it. I believe with Sonic 1, the console wars truly start, because Sega really does give Nintendo a black eye, and that's all because of Sonic the Hedgehog 1. And being able to strike back means that Nintendo have to innovate and make better games, and that means Sega have to innovate and make better games. And it makes more competition, which means that developers will strive better and better to work harder to make better games for their consoles. So yes, Sonic 1, I do think, in my opinion, is the most revolutionary game of all time. People can say that's not the case. I can accept that, that's fine, but that's just how my head works sometimes. Now, Sonic 1, when it first hit the scene, was great. Sonic himself is a great character. He is loud, he's got attitude, he's that 90s kid of, I'm waiting. If you watch the original cartoon, you know what I mean. The game was fast. The game wasn't so much about speed, it was about momentum and keeping Sonic going, because Sonic was at his best when he was at full momentum and he's cracking through the flags. And the Green Hill Zone is often considered one of the best opening levels ever made, and probably will win that list if I ever do that, because of how it is. It's basically designed to say, here's Sonic, have some fun. This world is bright, this world is colourful, the music's great, and you can finish the first level in less than 30 seconds and it looks like you're on absolute acid. It's brilliant. And then you hit the Marble Zone. Marble Gardens, like, and that's one of the problems with Sonic. After Green Hill Zone, you don't have many opportunities to get that momentum back again. Speed kind of goes through the window, and it becomes a platformer, and he's not like Mario. He's a bit slippery, unfortunately. That's one of the problems. But yeah, I ignored all that when I was a kid, because I love Sonic, and always have done. The music is legendary, let's be honest. Green Hill Zone, Starlight Zone, oh, so good. Again, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 has a better soundtrack, but I still love the first one. I love the fact with Dr. Robotnik. I think he is an absolute great character. I love the world itself. Like, it wasn't just this go from left to right. Everything was all over the place. There was bits to explore. When it came to level design, I'm sorry, it slaps Mario in the face. It's awesome. There's different paths you can do. And if you do get that momentum going, you felt it was earned. You felt, yeah, I deserve to do this. So that's why you want to replay the game, so you can really get faster and faster and faster and think, how fast can I go? Can I break the camera? And sometimes you can do. But Sonic himself, he wasn't even talking and he had so much personality. We all loved him. Like, if you ever needed a character that was so freaking cool that could wipe off someone's mustache, an Italian-American mustache, it was him. Like, you didn't even need a tutorial. It was just like, press right, jump, done. I know that future Sonic games improved on the formula dramatically, but Sonic 1, let's be honest, that was where the whole identity came from, and that laid the whole foundation for Sega, because they just packaged this bad boy in with the console, and yeah, they started winning the console war in America. And finally, number 1, Streets of Rage. Like Golden Axe and Revenge of Shinobi, this was the first game I ever owned as a kid on my Mega Drive 2, and me and my brother would endlessly play this game. We would play this beat 'em up so much. We didn't have Sonic, that wasn't in part of the bundle my dad got. Now, that's fair enough, he couldn't afford everything. God forsake, we were very lucky what we got. We just played this to death. Having that 2-player mode just meant there were no arguments, simple as that. My brother would go Blaze, I would go Adam, and we were off. Although, as I realised, playing Adam on your own is very difficult. Extremely difficult, because he's so slow. And those Blaze bitches at the end can't be freaking caught by him. Oh my god, it was a difficult fight at the end. Should have gone with Axel, but I just loved Adam. He was so goddamn cool. But Streets of Rage was a really great beat-em-up. The game looked fantastic. The aesthetic was amazing. At that first level, just walking around the streets with the neon lines everywhere. The fact that all the enemies look so cool, although some of them look like an absolute rip-off of Final Fight, which we used to play in the cinema arcade. But the game just was awesome. The fact that some of the weapons, like I could pick up a knife and stab someone. I could smash a bottle in their face. Look back now, I'm going, wow, how were we allowed to play that as a kid? I just stabbed someone. And then I threw the knife after him. It was awesome. I love beating the crap out of all the enemies, and you could do a big combo and then kick them halfway across the screen. It was so much fun. It's like, this shouldn't happen, but it was fun. You could have team throws. You can work together like a whole Blaze and she'd kick out. Oh, so much fun. That multiplayer sweet spot was so good. So me and my brother would work together. Like, the floor meat would be on the floor, be like, no, you eat it, no, I eat it, let's work together, we've got to do this. The music was also incredible. The Streets of Rage series is just known for its amazing music. And then I later found out some of the same sound effects were used for Revenge of Shinobi. I was like, I never knew that. Now, unlike other Streets of Rages, where if you press the special button, you use an attack which takes a bit of your health, here they decide to get the police involved, and you call them up and they'll either fire a Gatling gun or a rocket launcher at the enemies, which is so stupid, but still so much fun. The game was very difficult as well, again on one player, and in two player if you didn't messing around, especially when you get to the final boss, because if you give Mr. X the wrong options, he'll send you either all the way back to the beginning, or he'll have you fight each other to the death, which was so cool for me and my brother to do. It's like, we've got this far, let's beat the shit out of each other, and then we'd realise, oh crap, we haven't got enough health to beat Mr. X, because he was a hard boss as well. And games like this really did put the Sega Mega Drive on the map. Yes, we had Streets of Rage 2, which was the far better game, but Streets of Rage can still not be ignored. If you're looking at one of the best beat-em-ups ever made, the original Streets of Rage is still going to be in that question. It always will be, along with its big brother. And that's it, my top 10 games for the Sega Mega Drive in 1991. As I said at the beginning, if you did enjoy this video and think I earned it, please give a like and also comment and give me your thoughts. I'll see you all again in a few days, or maybe even tomorrow, depending when I get another list done. Until then, my name's been Danny, and I'll see you all soon. Take care, follow your dreams.